On today's IRS tax refund update, as we have entered the new year, we are just weeks away from the start of the 2025 tax season. So we will take a look at the latest developments, including the potential causes of tax refund delays and possible steps you may want to take to avoid tax issues in the year ahead, along with the top notices the IRS is expected to mail out this year for those experiencing tax processing and refund issues. Now, for those of you who are expecting to file their taxes early in the tax season, it is important to note that based on the previous past years that those who file early have a greater chance of having their refunds delayed due to the need to complete ID verification. Now, in a majority cases, those tax filers selected for ID verification is completely random and a step taken by the IRS to prevent fraudulently filed tax returns from being filed, which often occurs early in the tax season. And for those impacted by this, you should expect to receive the 5071C notice from the IRS, like seen here, informing you of the need to complete ID verification, which in most cases can be completed online in a matter of minutes. However, there will be some instances where you will not be able to verify online, but must do so in person at a local IRS office, in which case you will receive the 4883C or 6330C letters. It is also important to note that ID verification will not resolve itself, and you must complete it before your tax refund is released. And again, the ID verification selection process is random and does not take into account whether you have never had an issue with your tax return in the past, and you could be asked to verify your identity, even if you had been previously asked to do so in past years. However, another issue that has presented itself in previous years is not all tax filers who were expecting to receive this letter actually received it in the mail. And it was not until months later that they discovered this was the cause of their refund delay. So do make sure to regularly check your tax transcripts. And if you spot a 971 code on your tax transcript, that means a notice is being sent out by the IRS. And if you do not receive any notice from the IRS within 2 weeks of the date listed, next to the 971 code on your transcript, that you should contact the IRS to inquire about what notice was sent, and to have another notice reissued, along with confirming your mailing address. For those of you early filers claiming either the Earned Income Tax Credit or additional child tax credit this year, do remember your tax refund will automatically be placed on hold until mid-February, due to the PATH Act, which is a federal requirement that refunds impacted by those credits must be placed on hold, which allows the IRS to review the tax return in question to determine whether or not the credits being claimed is actually valid. And it is also important to note the PATH Act does not apply to the child tax credit, but the advanced child tax credit, as there usually seems confusion on this point. And as we have seen in past years, the IRS will begin to release refunds impacted by these credits starting during the third week of February. Now, 3 other top notices those impacted by delays this year are likely to receive from the IRS. This year include Letter 2644C, which is also referred to as the 60-day notice, which informs the tax filer that the IRS is waiting for your tax information to be available on their computer system. And based on viewer feedback over the last several years, this is as a result of the IRS still not processing the tax filer's employer's wage information, which is necessary to determine whether the amount you reported on your tax return for wages and withholdings is accurate. And in some cases, you may receive multiple 60-day notices in the mail from the IRS while you wait on your refund. However, after the first 60 days, if you are still waiting, it is recommended you reach out to the IRS to confirm they are waiting on your employer's wage information because, as a number of our viewers have reported, they have been able to submit the necessary wage documentation to the IRS so that processing of their tax return could continue and refund ultimately released. Another notice those experiencing delays could expect to receive is a letter in the CP05 series, which states the IRS is reviewing specific items on your tax return, and your refund is on hold until they can complete the review, which could be a result of a tax credit being claimed or income. And withholdings being reported, the CP05 series letter seen here will also inform the tax filer that no further action is necessary at the time. Meanwhile, another notice some can expect to receive is the CP75 notice as seen here, which informs the tax filer they must send documentation to the IRS in regards to a credit being claimed, such as the Earned Income Tax Credit or additional child tax credit. Oftentimes, the requested documents will include a birth certificate or paperwork to confirm residency. and it is important to submit these documents as soon as possible to avoid further delays with tax processing and release of that tax refund. Let us know in the comment section below about your ongoing tax issue. In the meantime, we will keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.